It's time to jump into the luxury imports of Bowling Green, BMW, Mercedes, Sports Webb, with your host Brian Webb on ESPN Radio 102.7. Starring Vegas Frank with Against the Odds, brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill presents WKU Lady Toppers golf coach and PGA teaching professional Adam Gary in Gary on the Green. The Good Fit with Jeremy Harris. Sports Web baseball analyst Danny Hartung from First Step Orthotics. WKU Sports Analysis with Garret Browning, featuring the Culver's Player of the Week for high school athletics. All phone interviews via the Linex of Bowling Green hotline. And now from ESPN Radio 102.7, here's your host, Brian Webb.
Let's get this party started up in here. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Web. You heard him right there, Danny the Limb, who got in a little late on our draft Sunday night, but did okay.
Yeah, I did all right. I mean, hopefully Zeke ends up getting off his doesn't want to go to practice backside and wants to start playing some football. That'd be kind of cool. But if not, I'll work the waiver wire.
The weirdest part of his holdout is he's actually got 2 years left on his contract and a franchise tag year.
Yeah, he does.
So it's man, you don't even have nothing to worry about yet.
And he's been suspended, and he's had to sit out for times too. That's I just don't get it. I don't know. It's the way of the world.
We should give Charles Lewis a shout out. Let him know, hey, tune in, big guy. Thanks for listening.
Always appreciate it.
Those Raiders will get it going here soon. Not worried about
them.
them.
They got a big game this week, Logan County.
Yeah, that's
I saw the latest polls. They were number 10 in the 4A poll, which
really good.
That'd be a really good game.
I think that to me I looked the other night. I wanted to say. Sunday night on BKO, I wanted to try to talk about a couple of games to watch. That was one of them. I think it's going to be one to watch this week, and then there's a few more. But I'm kind of excited about the Purple Central. And speaking of that game, guess who we got on tonight? DeAndre Boyd, quarterback, Warren Central Dragons. Danny, listen to his first 2 weeks. He has 14 touchdowns, 10 in the air, 4 with his legs. 900 yards almost passing in 2 games. This guy played basketball up until
2 weeks.
Until this summer.
That's 2 weeks.
That's 2 weeks. Yeah.
And he's honestly probably their best basketball player as well.
I would say so.
And with 14 touchdowns, I think it's safe to say he's their best football player.
Do you think he'll be getting any envelopes in the mail from different schools?
Maybe one or two.
Man, you would think. And he's going to be able to, he may be a Bo Jackson, man. He may go somewhere and play 2 sports. You never know.
Don't put that pressure on him.
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. We got a good show. We're going to start off with some MLB. Things are heating up in the league.
Oh, they certainly are. Oh, they certainly are. And El Central, baby. We've been touting them all year. St. Louis Cardinals, 10 in a row. Pitching's good. Hitting the ball. Chicago's still playing good. It's going to go down to it, man. I'm kind of thinking Milwaukee's fading away along with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, which kind of we thought, although I figured Milwaukee a little bit better at this time, but they're just not they're not producing. But the Cubs are playing good, but St. Louis is hot right now. And another team that's hot is that NL East Washington Nationals. I left them for dead right about the break. But they've come back in the last 50 games, have probably won about 80% of them.
You lit a fire under them.
Dude, with that pitching, who could go? I mean, you're looking at Scherzer and Strasburg and Gio. And, you're looking at some great pitching. Why in the heck? And their bats with Soto and everybody else. And what they're saying right now is the best thing they did was get rid of Bryce Harper. Oh, I just went this morning on Morning Joe. This morning, all the pundits were talking about baseball instead of the national
foosball.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win the presidential election? You're talking about Scarborough and all those guys. All they were talking is baseball, but it was really cool. And the Braves are still playing great baseball. I think they're about an 8-game lead right now. But I think Nationals are in the lead right now for the wild card.
Yep, 3.5 games on the Cubs.
3 on the Cubs. Mercy sakes! And then what's St. Louis on and the Cubs right now.
They're also 3 games up on the Cubs. 77 and 60, 74 and 63 are the Cubbies. 2.5 back of them in the wild card race would be the Phillies. They're that third team out right now.
Yeah, the Phillies won a good game last night, but between the Nats and the Cubs, I mean, that's going to be a pretty good one. But Houston's still running away. Los Angeles Dodgers are pretty much done.
Hey,
they're going to win. They're going to clinch here probably the next week.
Marlins 5,000 to 1 to win the World Series. Are you down?
I'm not down.
Okay, I was just double checking. I might put $1 on it.
No, I would not even put $1 on it.
Speaking of, you can sports bet in Indiana. Lawrenceburg's picking it up.
I heard that.
I might take a drive, man.
I heard that. That's pretty impressive. It's not that far away.
It's not.
What is it?
It's like an hour and 45 minutes.
I never understood how Kentucky is like one of the slower ones for sports betting.
We've had the green light
when they have
to
so much horse betting in the
but
first place.
I heard they're going to legalize weed here.
Oh Lord,
That's what they always say.
But little extra income to go with the bourbon and all that.
Might as well.
They're going to tax the heck out of it.
Then
anyway,
you'd have people like veering off of the bourbon trail,
exactly.
looking for some Cheetos, man.
They're going to ruin a bunch of hemp fields, just regular old hemp.
Exactly, and then the obesity rate could go up a little bit more.
Yeah, I would say so. I tell you, so we're winding up. With Verlander, what's that? His 4th or 5th?
Third.
Third.
No,
Okay.
no.
I mean, the guy's
And
like insane.
The guy did it 115 pitches.
That's crazy.
That's the second one he also threw at a Rogers Center, which I wonder how many times a pitcher has thrown 2 road no-hitters in the same park.
That's
Because I could see 2 no-hitters in the same park if you're a home player for that stadium,
Right.
but throwing 2
did it
in
in
the same
Toronto,
park,
yeah.
being a road player.
Yeah, and Toronto's been hitting the ball well with having Calvin
All those
Biggio
rookies they
and
got.
Bo Bichette coming up and all those guys. Vlad Guerrero, man, those guys are all starting to hit the ball, but are not starting. They have been for the last month and a half.
You take that wily vet JV on.
Just throwing those little buttercut sliders, baby. They just sizzle right off the bat down there.
I love that sound effect, William.
I'll have to save that for a later date.
Meet me at Sizzler. Catch some grub.
But no, I think the except for the wild card games, it's pretty well set with the Dodgers. Houston's, they lost a game or two. The Yankees are having a little problems lately with their pitching.
Yeah.
But you could have called that at the beginning of the year.
I think actually
They might get some guys back though in the next couple of months. Though I know Severino took some mound throws, and I think Betances also.
And Paxton's thrown tonight. His last 10 games have been really good, but CC went on the IR. So I mean,
of course I think they were kind of begging for that to happen near the end. Yeah,
come on, man.
He can still pitch against the Rays.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Joe Louis, 137 years old.
That's it.
Every time we start talking about boxing,
Somebody had to bring up Rocky Marciano.
somebody got to bring up Rocky Marciano.
But no, I think it's pretty well set. NL East is still tight, but I'm still going with the Braves there. And out of the Central, I'm still sticking with the Cubs. I'm still going to stick with the Cubs. I think they're going to overtake St. Louis.
Cubbies.
Yeah, I like the
That's
Cubs.
saying a lot too. The way these Cardinals.
Cardinals, like I said,
Yeah.
they really didn't give much of a chance. Better than third, most of the talking heads at the beginning of the year, but they've been playing pretty good.
Yeah, no, and the Brewers, I guess, they have to be one of the bigger disappointments out of most of the teams in the major leagues when you come to this point. When you have the MVP, and I know they've made a lot of moves around him to try and become a World Series contender, but it's just it's got to be a little frustrating.
Well, yeah, exactly. But some of the guys that were hitting the ball, Gonzalez, or a couple of them that were hitting the heck out of the ball last year aren't this year. You got Yelich, who's still throwing balls out of the park as much as he can. He's hitting the heck out of the ball, but he needs a little bit more help, but that pitching staff went way, way down after the break. So that's what's killed him.
I haven't even heard of, is Josh Hader the same Josh Hader he was?
Yeah, he is, but you got to get to him first.
You got to have a lead.
Nelson's been a disappointment. Davies has been a disappointment. Woodruff's been a disappointment. I mean, they started out hot, but man, they just really kept really poorly in the second half. I hate to say it that way, but they were poorly in the second half.
Well, we're not going to be poor in our second half. That's coming up right after this break. And teasing up the show, guys and gals out there in BG land. We got a great show tonight coming up. Vegas Frank, obviously, will be hanging out. We're going to get his thoughts. And then we've got Gary on the green, coach with some new recruits. Maybe he'll tell us a little bit about that. But don't forget, coming right back right now with Garrett, The Limb, and myself. Don't go anywhere. Sports Webb, ESPN Radio 102.7.
JBK Network Consulting and Cisco Systems have long been partners in Hilltopper Country. We have served South Central Kentucky since 1992 and now serve customers throughout the Commonwealth and in 19 states. With the power of Cisco Systems, JBK Network Consulting offers a complete lineup of voice-over IP, wireless indoor and outdoor, and digital signage for both information and entertainment sales and services. Looking to expand or just want to start on rock-solid ground? Conveniently located in Bowling Green, JBK Network Consulting, where we are IP everything.
2020 sounds good at Luxury Imports of Bowling Green. Whether it's a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, hear the engine on a test drive and you'll pick up a roaring 20 for yourself. Or maybe one of the last 18s and 19s with special deals and financing that close out the year. Everyone has a dream car, now bring it home. If Luxury Imports doesn't have your new or pre-owned BMW or Mercedes on the lot, management will find it and bring it fee-free to BG. Luxury Imports of Bowling Green, 325 Three Springs Road, online at luxuryimportsofbowlinggreen.com.
Man, that looks rough. That one got whacked good.
Yeah, I do know I'm getting sick of cleaning it up.
But it's all about the pay in the long run, right?
Yeah, you're right, but it'd be easier the quicker to go out and take us to Linex of Bowling Green.
Well, in the end, it's all about getting those hogs delivered, right?
You're right, but it sure is a mess. Forget about it.
Keep your bed easy to clean with Linex of Bowling Green. Truck accessories and more. Linex of Bowling Green on Louisville Road, Porter Pike intersection.
This is a Morgan & Morgan consumer message.
Every time I drive, I see so many billboards for lawyers and law firms. And many don't even have a name, just a big phone number. And then in tiny words on the very bottom, they have the firm's name. And I always wondered, is their name small because they're a small firm? I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you're injured, you're usually fighting against the other side's insurance company. Geico, Allstate, State Farm. These are big companies that want to pay you as little as possible. But our army of over 400 lawyers and 2,000 case staff, the largest personal injury law firm in the world, has a history and track record of going up against them and winning. When you're injured, size does matter. And you can now reach us by dialing Pound Law on your cell phone. That's pound 529. Pound Law, that's all. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Offices Bowling Green.
Hey, welcome on back. Luxury Imports of Bowling Green, Sports Webb coming at you. WWKU 102.7 up in Glasgow. You got your ears on. You got 12:30 a.m. in that car or on that lawnmower, whatever you're doing. Hopefully we won't have to mow lawns anymore in a couple months. That's always my favorite, when we don't have to mow anymore, Garrett. That's what I don't like to mow.
That's the landlord's job.
Yeah, I remember those days. I'll tell you what, we're going to gravitate to a little football, and man, I tell you, I hope everybody has done well, and I hope you've had your draft. You still got a few days left.
I got mine tonight.
You got your big one tonight?
I got my
that
big
big
one
20
tonight.
man?
It's I believe it's
in
only
that one
10 this year.
I was in a
We
20
cut
man.
it down. We cut it down.
I made it all the way to the Super Bowl that time.
Well,
I was in your league.
Good for you.
And notice I didn't get an invite next year.
There's reasons.
It's funny how that
It's
is.
funny how
I had
that
to
happens.
leave the league I was in last year because it was unfun. People just took it too serious.
It
And we don't
can
even
get
have
that
a
way.
pot. We don't even have a pot. Like,
There's no money involved, and it got that serious.
I get being serious if you're playing for a little money,
Playing for a
but if
hundo.
you're not paying for, there's no reason to be that serious about
No,
it.
you're
so.
absolutely right. Yes.
I had to
Tweet
switch.
at us.
I had to switch leagues this year.
Tweet at us if you've had to switch your league like G-Man did.
Dude,
Over.
you're not playing for anything?
I think it's like $10 this year, which I can do.
I would
That's
draft a kicker the first round.
Just draft like 10 kickers.
If I was, if I was in a league that didn't have anything, I would be the most
I did that-
absurd person there
I did
is.
that for fantasy basketball one year, and I took Courtney Lee #1.
Oh, that's great.
And he actually was
He
not
produced
that bad
for
of a
while
pick.
there.
Yeah,
Was
he
that when
was
he was Orlando?
not. It was like year 2 or 3 of him in the league. I took.
It was taking Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan.
Kenny Skywalker.
Every now and then you got a bust, But
who was your best pickup? Who are you most happy with? I'm going to say I got Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to have one of those years that we're used to for Aaron Rodgers because things have not been great in Green Bay.
In my Pirates league, I got the 7th pick, and I end up taking Michael Thomas.
Oh,
then on the
solid
on
pick.
the back side, I got to take Dalvin Cook, and on the 3rd pick, I got my boy Devonta Freeman out of Atlanta. And
He should have a better year.
After that, I'm just like, yeah, baby, I'm rolling. Then
A lot of people are high on the Falcons. I mean, I don't know.
13 out of 16 games are in a dome this year.
And
That's
Tevin
why.
Coleman's gone, right?
Yeah, Tev's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Of course, they got Ish Smith, who takes a couple of carries away,
He's
but
not bad.
He's not the pass catcher
Right.
that Tevin Coleman
Oh
was.
no, yeah, he's gonna,
Devontae can catch it.
Devontae can take it out take a
He's
pass
kinda like
from
a
Matty Ice,
Kamara
but
a little bit,
yeah, he is, but a little bigger.
Yeah, he's a lot thicker.
Yeah, he's hard to take
I'd rather
down.
get hit by.
We were talking
by
about the
Kamara.
other night. We were watching sports the Saturday morning. What do you call it on ESPN with all the
College game day?
College game day. And Bo
Lee
Jackson
Corso.
was on.
Love Bo Jackson.
Okay, who would you rather try to tackle? It was Bo Jackson or Herschel Walker.
Oh man, that's a tough one right there. Both were great on Tecmo Bowl, by the way.
I would say I didn't want to try to either tackle either one of them, but if I had my druthers, I'd try to tackle Bo Jackson. Herschel Walker's legs were bigger than my
Man,
waist.
that guy was just.
He was a beast.
man. Oh, you don't remember those days, did you, man?
I've seen the 30 for 30
On Herschel.
on Bo.
Bo. That's
I think
really
Herschel
good. That's
has
a
like
great
an SEC storied. It's not a 30 for
They
30,
should
but it's
do
one
a
of
30,
those.
30 on.
On Herschel,
Hirsch,
definitely.
man.
But they were just, and both of them were in great shape.
What
still.
about what was the Thurman Thomas? I wouldn't want to tackle
another one?
Thurman.
Okie State, yeah.
Thermal. I wouldn't want to. Tackle
I feel like
him.
my generation, it's more like trying to tackle elusive backs than there are the power backs. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to try to tackle LT, probably, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Or Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's a
He's
good pick,
big
too.
and elusive
And thick.
Holy cow!
Jerome
Have you been
Bettis.
next to him
Jerome
before?
Bettis,
He
the
is
boss,
huge.
yeah.
Oh, Bettis was the
loved
man,
him.
dude.
Big Notre
I
Dame
loved him.
kid.
I hate the Steelers. No offense. but
Would you rather
None
have
taken.
a football player come out of the backfield? Let's say you're the linebacker. It's one of these running backs. He catches a pass. He's about to go one-on-one with you. Would you rather get trucked trying to stop him or have him just totally break your ankles and juke around you and go?
I'd rather
Either
get
way,
trucked.
he's getting
I'd
around
rather
you.
get trucked.
Because if he breaks you, it's so much more humiliating.
Yeah.
At least you get up like a man and spit the dirt and stuff out of your
Exactly.
mouth.
Maybe
you
a
know?
tooth as
Except,
well.
Yeah, maybe a
except
couple of
leaving your jock on the
cuspids.
field, getting juked out of your jock strap.
Just sitting there, nothing but a pair of shoes
It
with
will be.
socks still in them.
Where'd he go?
Where'd who go? Oh, that's great
Oh,
stuff.
I agree, man.
Yeah, good luck out there if you're just getting into your draft. I like my McCaffrey pick.
That's good.
You
good
just
spot.
gotta have him.
You're not gonna.
I'm running back
sad.
healthy.
Cam a little beat up too, so they may have to go to Cam or McCaffrey a lot early on.
You know, Cam is dinged up a little bit, and I really wanted him this year, but
He's
I can't.
always dinged up.
I know, and he's probably going to be fine.
Now, half of it's a put on, I think.
I don't like hearing that, though. It freaks me out.
He's like the guy with pocket aces, but makes you think he's got 7 deuce offsuit. You know what I mean? He's like that guy, Garrett. I don't know. We got a couple minutes left here on the Luxury Import Sports Web. Man, I had a good weekend. I ate a crab leg at St. Pete. I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but you can see it. Literally, the crab leg was longer than my arm, Danny. Now I know what these deadliest catch guys are out there just going nuts.
Yeah, when they get those crabs for $200 a pop for these people, that's crazy,
man.
I mean, they sell those legs for like $28 a pound.
Man, listen, I'm
Each
a
leg
crab
weighs
leg
2 pounds.
maniac, and I almost couldn't finish 2 legs. I split a cluster with somebody else at the table, and I almost couldn't finish it.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of crab.
It's unreal. I can't believe how much is in there.
Did you bring any back?
Yeah,
man. I tell you,
where's ours?
I don't know that you can even get them in Bowling Green. I don't know if you can.
I
get
doubt
them.
it. Not up here. Not that.
I mean, I'm used to
fresh. At least.
I'm used to the franchise restaurant over here, the seafood, and you get little teeny tiny, and you're happy with your pool. You're like, ooh, look, big pool.
This thing's a half-inch round.
I mean, yeah, I was doing that down there, and I was just like mind-boggling, but I don't know.
They throw those away down there.
I think you said the best receiver out there, though, Michael Thomas. That's probably I would if I had to get one, it would probably be him.
If I didn't have him, I'd rather have Julio. But I mean,
you gotta love Julio. My wife got Julio.
One of those two, I would have been happy with. But
Gary kept cutting me off the other night. My cue's ready, and so I got Ertz sitting there, boom, gone. I got Le'Veon Bell, boom, gone. I'm like, come on, let me get on the other side of Garrett.
And
come on.
G's sniping you the whole time.
He's just sniping me like from afar, man.
I have to
like the DC sniper.
Revenge Tour 2019. Last year, Urban Meyer's legal team did not perform well in the fantasy football championship. So this year, a relocation. We changed cities. We're now Bob Barker's House of Pain.
I love that.
And I feel better about it. I feel better.
I was going to rename my Baker Mayfield of Dreams.
Oh, that's pretty good. I named your team the Eliminators, and I like that.
I liked it.
That's good.
And we got a bunch of other. We'll talk more about our team names next week. But we're going to come up here just a second out of this break, and we're going to have Vegas Frank. Then we've got Dre Boyd, Warren Central Dragon doing unbelievable things. Best 0-2 I've ever seen. Over there with the awesome coach, Kerry Fowler. And then we've got Gary on the green we'll finish up with. So don't go anywhere, folks. We're coming right back, Liam.
We're out.
In stores now, Pabst Grippos.
Hello, Vegas. Give me $100 on red.
Joe! $200 in chips, please.
Are you a professional?
What's your bet, sir?
Bet.
Hit me.
It's a bust.
Whoa! I am on fire.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
You're a winner!
Against the Odds with Vegas Frank is brought to you by JBK Network Consulting. JBK Network Consulting. We are IP everything. Working with complex organizations to achieve measurable business outcomes is what we do. Let Jim Grant and JBK Network Consulting go to work for you. Call 270-796-8935. Visit JBK Network Consulting at 1143 Fairway Place, Suite 105, and online at jbk.net.
Against the Odds with none other than Vegas Frank, sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, on the Linex hotline. Linex Bedliners, Roger Jean at Louisville Road. Get over there. Protect that truck. Nobody does it better than Linex at Bowling Green. Nobody does it better than Vegas Frank. What's up, man? Big weekend.
It was a big weekend. We have a big weekend coming up this weekend as well. It was exciting. Lots of college football. Tried to watch as much as I could. Got a little tired last night, but I mean, we watched a lot of football over the weekend. It was fun.
Man, I tell you, the Cardinals looked a lot better than I thought they were going to look.
No, I think they were competitive. Ultimately, Notre Dame is still kind of figuring out their identity with this quarterback. With Book, this is going to be a team that kind of grows. Remember, we have to factor in the college football. There is no preseason. So they've got to get their legs under them. You know, you're hitting people for the first time, actually getting used to just the actual in-game scenarios, preparing for that stuff. So they did look good. There's a lot of room for growth in these first couple of weeks.
Yeah, scrimmage speed and actual game time speed, two different things.
No, you're absolutely right.
Man, I tell you, coming off a crazy weekend there. What was your first of all, Jalen Hurts, man, that guy looked good.
Hey, putting up like video game type numbers. I mean, you would think that he's kind of sending a message to Alabama and Coach Saban, even though Coach Saban sort of dismissed it, said that he didn't catch the game, that he was working on Sunday night. I mean, I don't know if I buy that.
Come on.
They've got like an $8 billion complex there for Alabama. I mean, I'm sure there's probably no televisions, in that whole complex. I'm being sarcastic. Or I'm sure they watched the game in some capacity. They had it on in the background. But Jalen Hurts, 500 yards of offense. I think it was number one or number two as far as a debut for an Oklahoma player to have what he did, rushing and passing. I mean, video game type numbers. And talk about the impact for that type of production. The two clear favorites for the Heisman Trophy were Trevor Lawrence and Tua at Bama. But because of this performance that Jalen Hurts put up on Sunday night, they are now all even at 2.5 to 1 to win the Heisman Trophy.
Wow.
Just based off of that performance. So now he is definitely in the mix. And if you look at the way the schedule is and the way the voters are concerned, they have other guys in their own backfield in the offensive side of the ball that are going to kind of pull votes away from them. And Jalen Hurts doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to get a lot of attention going forward. He's going to get a lot of favorable matchups. There could be some of these games where Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing in the fourth quarter. I mean, they're going to be favored by double digits every game, I think, for the whole season. So they might have a lot of games where Trevor Lawrence is going to be sitting.
Yeah, that's you forget to figure that in, but because when a Heisman is on the line, and future draft picks, some of these guys, I mean, you think they probably want to play the whole game, but it is college football. You get a big enough lead. I mean, there's no reason to leave a guy like that or any of those guys out there to be subject to any injury, Frank. I mean, you got to do what's right, and like you said, I think they're going to be well ahead in a lot of their games on their schedules, and we'll see what happens. But man, he's got to be a clear top three. I mean, there's no way you could take that away from the guy. Unbelievable. And what makes it even crazier is, how does Alabama have like two guys per position that can just do it? I mean, that's pretty amazing when you think about it.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right, but I mean, it's that you have this embarrassment of riches, really. Look at Justin Fields. He ends up at Ohio State, transferring out of Georgia, obviously with Eason transferring to Washington. You're talking about three guys that could have been playing quarterback at Georgia this season that are all starting now, and nobody's talking about Fromm, the quarterback that ended up staying at Georgia, who's just sort of quietly just doing it, who looks like I think he'll end up being the more productive pro because he seems the most poised and the most mature of the three. It's ridiculous to think that these programs have the second and third option of the quarterback, and some schools are looking around like, we can't get one guy.
Yeah.
These schools have two or three guys.
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it is absolutely crazy, and you wonder, is that going to be the new norm? I mean, going forward, and you would think some of these guys would be like, hey, if I've got to wait for a guy to like either get hurt or a guy to graduate and get my 1 year, you got to think it's more appealing to them to go to another decent, conference and just be a starter from day one. I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard to figure out, but I would think myself, there's no way I'd do that. I would want to go. I would want to get as much PT as possible.
Well, we're going to go back to Hurts just because it was an incredible performance over the weekend. But if Jalen Hurts ends up winning the Heisman Trophy, you're talking about three quarterbacks that have played in 3 consecutive seasons at the same school to win the Heisman Trophy, and all three of them are walk-on/transfer quarterbacks.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous, and it's like we've kind of opened up all types of avenues now for these guys to transfer and to be moving back and forth. You don't think they're going to get another quarterback who's interested in transferring to Oklahoma next season?
Probably.
If they win another Heisman Trophy over there, are you kidding me?
I know, it's the Heisman Trail. Man, that's great. We there's so many storylines we could have went down. I would like to bring up my Hilltoppers, man. I was just shocked. I mean, I don't know what to think about it because, I mean, I'm sitting right there watching the first play of the game go 70 yards, and I'm thinking, wow, man, Tops are back, But you can't expect Helton in one season, one game, to turn this thing around immediately. I mean, I guarantee you we're going to see some great things coming out of these Hilltoppers. But I have to say, man, Duncan in person, first time I've seen him really up close, man, he does look pretty good. I mean, he's got a tough thing right there for Helton to figure out this quarterback situation. But I don't know that he didn't do a good enough job. I think it was more lays on the defense there late in the fourth or early in the fourth. I mean, you gotta be able to close these games out. And I know it's new, it's young, it's a discombobulated team. I mean, he's got things that he's got players that he didn't pick, and he's given this recipe without an actual outline to go by. So he's trying to figure it out. My Tops are going to win some games, and we're going to see some good things, but it's going to take a little bit to get it rolling, I think.
No, I agree with you. I think that Helton's got to have some time. An extra dose of patience right now won't hurt. They've got to get comfortable with what they're doing right now, and like exactly what you're saying. Duncan's got to get the repetitions. They'll be playing FIU this week coming up, so right away, you get some conference exposure kind of thing. But again, in those first couple of weeks is going to be where there's the most growing pains, and there's going to be a learning curve. Helton's got to get comfortable with his guys, and they've got to get comfortable with him.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a little time. Let's be patient. It's week one. We just finished week one.
Absolutely.
So let's see.
Absolutely, I love it. Talking to Vegas Frank out of Las Vegas, Frank. We're going to move on to the NFL because you and I didn't get a chance. It's a rare. I think that may be the first show I've ever missed last week, but I just couldn't get it all done. And with this new TV thing I'm doing, which I'm excited about, I hope everybody enjoyed that Sunday night. I had a blast doing it. Had Brandon Dowdy on. That was so much fun. Sitting there talking to him, I'm still starstruck, and I've played golf with him, I've hung out with him, still starstruck by him, just from watching you and I. We had our fun times talking about Dowdy on Tuesdays, man, back in when that was going on. But we never got to touch on Andrew Luck. Luck ran out, I guess. I mean, I don't know. So last week it was more, I think he's banged up, this, that, but now I guess I'm hearing maybe he was just lost his drive, lost his passion, love for the game. I mean, what do you see on this thing?
I think it's very unusual for the timing. When training camp starts, basically he wasn't sure at that point, and then when they get into training camp, I mean, he's about 12, 14 days out of the season actually starting, and he just kind of decides, like, well, I'm done. It gets leaked during the game, which is not a very good look. The fans are booing.
I
and
blame
everything.
that on social media.
Yeah, I really don't. I really didn't care for that. But I think that if you know that you don't want to play anymore, and I think in the back of their mind, they still hold out hope that he might change his mind at some point during the season. But if you feel like you don't want to play anymore and you're not confident, then he's made the right call. We can't decide for Andrew Luck.
That's true.
What's best for him. If he doesn't feel right, I mean, the guy's been hurt three of the last 4 seasons regularly.
Yeah.
All kinds of different issues. And if your shoulder's not right, you need your shoulders to play quarterback.
Gotta have shoulders.
So your shoulders aren't right. You don't feel right. You're not comfortable. I don't like the timing of it. I wish that it would happen prior to the preseason starting or the training camp starting, to where he can make some type of decision or call on it. You got to respect the guy's decision ultimately, because you don't want him to get in a month into the regular season and say, like, "Oh yeah, I don't have it. I gotta hang it up."
Yeah, that's a great point that you haven't heard much of. It's been negative mostly, but you bring up a very good point there, Frank, because he's doing what's best for his team, and that shows. And that's one thing about Andrew Luck. He's always been a team player from what I've seen, and
absolutely.
And for him to be able to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to step back right now and give you guys time to get this thing worked out, so you can have a shot at a decent regular season with Jacoby Brissett, who they just offered $30 million I don't know if he saw that. I guess he agreed to it. So, I mean, he better agree to it. I can't believe they're giving him that kind of numbers because, honestly, Frank, he's not showed me much.
No, I agree with you. I think that Jacoby Brissett is a serviceable quarterback. I think that he's sort of, I was trying to compare him to somebody. Like, he is not that much worse as far as his mechanics and poise and everything. He's not that much worse than
Jameis Winston?
I was going to say than Dak.
Yeah, well,
Dak is a much more efficient version of Jacoby Brissett.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I think that he's got to get more comfortable in this system. Jacoby Brissett is not a bad quarterback. He wants to manage the game more. He's gonna be more in tune. Remember where he comes from. He comes from a Patriots culture, so he's going to have his preparation dialed in. He's going to be ready as far as that goes. But I mean, I don't know what this is going to mean 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
Yeah, I mean, if we even get that far, but
right.
And we're talking a little bit of NFL, and it's here, man. I mean, we're coming up on regular season, and I cannot wait. I didn't watch much preseason, but for those who left their auto draft on and got Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, you got to be hating your life right now. I don't know they're gonna get this done or what?
I believe that they will. I think that this first week is gonna tell a lot for us as fans, and for those, like you said, that ended up taking Zeke in their fantasy drafts. We're going to know a lot after this first week. I think they want to get a deal done, and they want to get a deal done by Sunday. I don't think Zeke will play this weekend.
No.
As my gut reaction. I think he's not going to be playing on Sunday.
I don't think so.
But I think they've got to figure this out sooner rather than later. I think that you're going to see them move off. You've already seen the Chargers kind of take a stance with Melvin Gordon, saying that they're not going to negotiate and that you can, if you want to sit, go ahead and sit. Why don't they just say, let's trade Zeke for Gordon, let's make a move, let's move on, and then, the Chargers can start negotiating with Zeke. They're kind of like they'll be back at square one trying to negotiate the same kind of deal with him. But they've got to figure this out, and I think they ultimately want to, but they're sort of sending a kind of like veiled messages to Zeke by renegotiating La'el Collins. Now they're saying they're going to try to get some type of deal worked out with Amari Cooper when they're telling Zeke that they're not going to negotiate.
What a mess.
Or they're not going to keep going back and forth. It's a mess.
You would think they would get this stuff figured out long before. I mean, whatever it takes, sit down, get at the table, and sit down and hash this stuff out because, from a fan's perspective, and that's who's listening to us right now are fans. I mean, come on, man. You can't figure this out. You're a multi-million-dollar organization, and you can't figure this out? Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's tough, though, too, because, and I'm not making excuses for either side, really, but it's tough for them to negotiate when the market kind of got reset a couple years back for running back. Then you had Le'Veon sit out the whole season with the Steelers. So they sort of removed whatever leverage Zeke sort of removed whatever leverage he had for himself by not being around and not participating, not even trying to work out or play or participate in training camp for, a week. He wasn't even there. So it kind of removes his leverage that he may have thought he had previously.
Oh man, we're getting ready to run out of time, Frank, and I want to do a couple things. First of all, you got some UFC we're going to top it off with here in just a few minutes and close up. But real quick, the Vegas Frank Brian Webb simulator. I'm going to tell you who I think is going to be winning in week 1. I think Philly's going to win. I think Seattle's going to win. I think New Orleans is going to win. I think Tampa Bay will win. I like Green Bay. I like the Raiders. I like Detroit. I like Carolina, man, with a little bit of an upset there. And then I love the Browns over the Titans. I don't love it because I'm a Titans guy, but Taylor Lewan will be a Brown, and man, I hope he don't burn us for the Titans, but he might. I like KC. I like New England over Pitt. I like the Vikings beating the Falcons. I mean, there's a lot of different things. I like the Chargers, obviously, over what we don't know about the Colts. I mean, am I on track? You liking what I'm putting down?
I like a lot of. I agree with most of what you said. I'm kind of going the other way with the Colts and the Chargers, and I'm going the other way with the Bears and the Packers. I like the Bears actually on Thursday. But other than that, I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I say we put together a nice 12-13 team parlay, and see what happens.
It's got to be a super teaser. That's what I used to love down at the old Binion Super Tease. Hey man, real quick, let's finish up with some Ultimate Fighting Champion.
Well, this weekend from Abu Dhabi, Dana and the boys are already there. They've been there doing press, this whole week. Habib Nurmagomedov returns to the octagon for his first fight since the whole McGregor steel cage match audience riot, whatever you want to call it.
That was nuts.
He returns to the octagon against Dustin Poirier. It's going to be a great fight. I'm excited to see Habib back at it. And I think that, style makes fights, and that this is going to be good. Two guys with a lot of respect for each other, actually.
That's cool.
There hasn't been a ton of trash talk or anything like that. Yeah, these guys really like each other, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited for this fight. It's an earlier start because it's going to be in Abu Dhabi, so I think your time it's going to be about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Is when it's going to be starting. So you got to check that ESPN Plus.
There you go.
To get that going. It'll be 11 o'clock in the morning over here in Vegas. So we'll get up and watch some of that. After we start college football.
You'll be at the sports book most of that morning, I would say.
Most of that weekend, yes. Most of it. I'll have a little cot set up.
I love it. Stretch out there, get you some coffee, and enjoy it. Vegas Frank, everybody, against the odds. It's been great. We'll see you next Tuesday, buddy.
Sounds good. Good talking to you.
Same here. ESPN 1027.
It's time for the Culver's High School Football Player of the Week. Visit Culver's at 4903 Scottsville Road for some delicious burgers.
It's time for Culver's High School Football Player of the Week. We were out last week, so we're going to start off with, as far as I'm concerned, the best story of the season thus far, and that is DeAndre Boyd, number 6, out here. Warren Central Dragon, just doing things that people just can't even comprehend right now, standing right in front of me. What's up, Dre?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. First of all, let's just get the stats out of the way. 2 games, 800-something yards passing. You've got 10 touchdowns tossing, and you've got 4 with your legs. That's 14 touchdowns, man. We're 2 games in. Unbelievable. What do you got to say about all this football stuff?
Just putting in the practice and just putting in the work to do it, and going out there and having confidence in doing what I'm doing.
Let me ask you this. I got to know. Everybody's asking me. What was Coach Unseld like when this was put on his table? You stepping behind center out there on the football field and doing this thing. Was he apprehensive at first, or was he like, go for it?
This is just like, go for it, have fun, and just try to stay safe because we still need you. And he was one of the most ones pulling for it, like, want me to play. So,
well, that sounds like Coach Unseld right there. He's a winner. He breeds winners, and for this to be happening like this, man. First of all, that Apollo game. I mean, when you got out there, did it just come natural?
Yeah, it was just fun to be out there again. It was just out there just having fun. I really wasn't even thinking about the stats until after the game when everybody told me about it.
Yeah, it's crazy because I had to look at them again and just take a double take on them just because it's so mind-boggling. What you're doing, and I'm so happy to give you. I've given you Player of the Week for basketball a couple of times, and Player of the Game in 4th Region. But first time I've ever got to come see you about football. Now you played a little bit in your youth, right? You played a little Warren County League.
I played not Warren County League, but when I was younger, I played on the travel team growing up. And so yeah, and then in middle school I played, and then I stopped playing when I got to high school.
Well, you're such a great basketball player, and it is these days. It's almost like you got to pick one sport, but. Coach Kerry Fowler, I mean, I can't say enough about. He gets me fired up just on the radio. I can't imagine what he's like out there on the field. What's it been like having him by your side?
It makes everything easier because he tries to make sure I understand things just a little bit deeper because I'm the quarterback. Make things easier for me when I'm getting out there and Most of the reason why I've been so successful is just listening to him and doing exactly what he's telling me to do.
Man, you got a couple good receivers out there too. Justin Borden, just to name one, and you know it's nice when you've got that that ability to push that button when you need to. But man, I tell you what, you're like Cam Newton out there, is what I see. That's how I see you, because you can just pick it up, and I don't know that anybody can catch you, Dre. I mean, it's unbelievable. Does that just come innate to you, that elusiveness?
I watch Cam Newton highlights every night. I watch him every night, like literally going to bed every night, watch Cam Newton highlights. Just try to go out there and do my best job of playing like him, but still staying in the system, doing what Coach Fowler is telling me to do, trusting my receivers, trusting that they putting in the right work because I know they are. Just doing what we got to do to win, even though we're falling short right now.
Well, listen, it don't look like you're falling short. Put it that way. They look like wins out there to me, and I like I said Sunday night on WKO. I mean, it's just like it's the best 0-2 I've ever seen, you know. And I know you want to win because you're a winner and you're used to winning. But man, you guys are learning so much week to week. You can see it. And once the defense kind of falls in place, I mean, you guys are going to be hard to handle around playoff time. You got the Purples coming in Friday. Looking forward to that. We all are, because back in my day, it was that was a great rivalry, and I think you're going to bring that back. You and the Dragons this year, man. I think we'll see a good game Friday night, whether you win or lose. You guys are going to leave it all out there on the field, and Dr. Dre Boyd's coming for a W.
Yeah, they coming over here. It's gonna be fun. We putting in work this week, a lot of work, hard work this week. It's gonna be a good game. First time playing against them. See how it's gonna go.
Man, I want to congratulate you on such an awesome start to a season that we've all been waiting to see Dragon football re-emerge, and with the help of you and some great players out there amongst you, and one heck of a coach, you got things turned around out here in Dragonville. Good luck this weekend, DeAndre, and it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back on the Sports Web, ESPN 102.7.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Time to go home there, Ball.
I can make it across.
Well, then do it.
We got all of that. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Knock it on. Let her rip.
It's in the hole. By the way, what did Mr. Webb shoot this morning?
It's time for Gary on the Green. Gary on the Green is brought to you by Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill on Old Louisville Road and online at bowlinggreenfireplace.com. Call 270-495-1131.
Thanks for coming on back. Gary on the Green. He's out on the course today. I think he's playing Old Stone, but we got a few minutes with him here while he's getting ready to hit that next string of birdies. What's going on, Coach?
Yeah, getting ready to tee off at the club at Old Stone for the Challenge Cup. That's the PGA Pros versus the Amateurs. So I've drawn the state amateur champ today, so I'm going to have to play well. But should be fun. It's a beautiful day, and the course is in awesome shape. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good luck to you. Not that you need it, but everybody needs a little luck on the golf course, Coach. Well, you haven't needed any luck in the recruiting area for the Lady Tops. Tell me what all's been going on, man. Let everybody know.
Yeah, so I was able to get a couple commitments this week, so I can't say any names or anything yet until they sign, but got a local player and then got another in-state kid for the 20 class. So I've got 3 coming next year, and I've already got 1 for the junior class, or the 2021 class. But my incoming freshman that's from Chicago that had such a solid summer this year, Sarah Arnold, is tied for the lead in qualifying with Mary Joyner. So I'm really pleased that she's able to play as well as she has, even though she doesn't know the golf courses, and obviously just getting here and being a freshman. So I'm really looking forward to our first tournament. We got one more weekend to qualify, and then we leave for South Alabama and then Michigan State the following week. So should be a busy time.
On the road again, Coach is on the road again. I love it, man. Are you excited to get it rolling?
I am, man. Summer's long, so I know that I've got a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of experience, and I'm just hoping that I can get them prepared and ready to go out and have some fun, because this is going to be a memorable time in their life for sure.
Coach, we had some sad news coming out of the golfing world this weekend, and I don't know how well you know the young man from UK, but can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, great guy. I mean, he played in the PGA Tour event and made the cut at the Barbasol here in Kentucky this summer, so everybody's thoughts and prayers are with Colin Brown. This is a pretty serious deal, this bone cancer that he has, so I know he's withdrawn from school and he's going to get some treatment, and just seeing some of the teams and programs and players across the world that have reached out through Twitter and things. It's been pretty overwhelming for him, I'm sure. I don't know him super well, but everything that I've seen and been around him, he is just a class guy, and obviously one of our own here in Kentucky. So we're really pulling for him, praying for him.
Absolutely, prayers are up, and I mean, just how gut wrenching. I mean, this guy, from what I hear, is a heck of a golfer as well, and to be cut down during the middle of your collegiate career with something so serious as this, would love to see him. JB had a little bit of brain cancer, I think, and came back from it. So, hearts and minds are with him in prayers, and love to see him come through this victorious. And it's just such a shock, and I know it just rattled the golfing world in Kentucky for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. It's sad news, but if anybody can beat it, he can. Good shape, strong mind, and a lot of people behind him.
Well, Coach, we'll catch up with you next week. Let you get teed off, and have a great round today, and we'll save a tip for next week, and this week's tips, just say a prayer for Colin Brown.
Yes, sir. I love it. Thanks for giving him a shout-out.
Yeah, absolutely, and always appreciate you being on. And we'll catch up with you next week and talk about these tournaments and where we're looking to land and that sort of thing. But appreciate you, man. Have a great round.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, brother. We'll be right back. Sports Webb, ESPN 102.7.